What if the most powerful anti-aging medicine in the world never came from a lab, never required a prescription, and never cost you a single dollar because it was already growing, silently, patiently, in the soil beneath your feet? Most people don't realize that for thousands of years, before the supplement industry turned youth into a product you could purchase in a plastic bottle, ordinary people, farmers, healers, grandmothers who outlived empires, were growing the exact plants your skin, joints, and connective tissue desperately need. Plants that trigger your body's own collagen production. Plants that rebuild from the inside out, not synthetically, not artificially, biologically. And then, somewhere between the rise of convenience culture and the industrial food system, we forgot them. Today, we're bringing them back. We have 20 of them for you. Some will surprise you. Some will stop you mid-scroll. And by the time we reach number 19 and number 20, I want you to be sitting down, because those two plants carry a history so deep and a science so quietly devastating to what the beauty industry has sold you that you will never look at your backyard the same way again. Stay with us. Rosehip Rosa canina is not a flower. It is a survival tool, disguised as one. The wild rose has existed across Europe and Western Asia for millennia, and its fruit, the deep crimson hip left behind after the bloom fades, contains one of the most concentrated sources of vitamin C found anywhere in the natural world, up to 40 times more than a navel orange by weight. During World War II, when citrus supplies to Britain were severed, the British government mobilized volunteers to harvest wild rose hips across the countryside. They understood something we have largely forgotten. Without vitamin C, your body cannot synthesize collagen. Not less efficiently, not slower. It cannot do it at all. Plant Rosa canina in a sunny border, give it well-drained soil, and harvest the hips after the first frost when their sugar content peaks. One bush will feed your skin's collagen engine all winter long. Gotu Colocentella asiatica does not announce itself. It grows low, spreading quietly across moist, shaded ground in tropical and subtropical climates. Its small fan-shaped leaves unremarkable to the untrained eye. But Ayurvedic healers, traditional Chinese medicine practitioners, and the physicians of ancient Egypt all converged on the same conclusion independently. This plant accelerates wound healing, stimulates collagen synthesis, and strengthens the integrity of connective tissue. Modern research has confirmed what they knew empirically. Compounds called asiaticoicides directly upregulate collagen production at the cellular level. Grow it in a pot in partial shade with consistently moist soil. In colder climates, it overwinters beautifully indoors on a bright windowsill. Asparagus. Asparagus officinalis demands patience. Plant it once, tend it for 2 years without harvest, and it will repay you for the next 20. This is not a metaphor. A well-established asparagus bed outlives the gardener who planted it. Beyond its remarkable longevity, asparagus is loaded with lysine and proline, 2 amino acids that are the literal structural components of collagen molecules. Without them, your body has no raw material to work with. Ancient Romans cultivated asparagus with such reverence that Emperor Augustus coined a phrase meaning, "do it quickly," by referencing the speed of cooking asparagus. Plant crowns in deep, rich, well-drained soil in early spring. Mulch heavily. Wait. The patience required mirrors the patience with which it will serve you. Amaranth. Amaranthus was so central to Aztec civilization that when the Spanish conquistadors sought to break their culture, one of the first acts was to destroy every amaranth field they encountered. They understood that a people fed by amaranth were a people who could not easily be starved into submission. This grain-leaf hybrid contains extraordinary levels of lysine, rare in the plant kingdom, along with manganese and copper, minerals essential to the enzyme lysyl oxidase, which cross-links collagen fibers and gives skin its structural resilience. Sow it directly in full sun after the last frost. It tolerates poor soil, drought, and heat with aristocratic indifference. It survived the fall of an empire. It will survive your summer. Stinging nettle Urtica dioica is not polite. It will announce its presence with chemical precision if you touch it carelessly. And yet, for the last 2,000 years, nearly every traditional medicine system in the Northern Hemisphere has used it. Nettles are dense with silica, the mineral that directly supports collagen and elastin cross-linking in skin tissue. They contain iron, which drives oxygen transport to skin cells, and chlorophyll, which is structurally almost identical to human hemoglobin. Medieval European monasteries cultivated nettles as seriously as any food crop. Steam the young spring leaves, the sting vanishes entirely with heat, and the flavor is rich, green, and deeply mineral. Cut it back hard, and it returns. It always returns. Astragalus. Astragalus membranaceus was not consumed casually in traditional Chinese medicine. It was prescribed specifically for rebuilding what time takes away. The root contains astragalosides, particularly astragaloside 4, which has been studied for its ability to activate telomerase, the enzyme that maintains the protective caps on your DNA. When those caps shorten, aging accelerates. This is foundational biology, and astragalus has been touching it for millennia without knowing the mechanism. Grow it in well-drained, slightly alkaline soil in full sun. It is a legume. It fixes nitrogen as it grows, improving your soil while it heals you. Harvest the roots in the plant's 4th or 5th year, dry them, and simmer into broths. Legendary does not begin to cover it. Parsley Petroselinum crispum is one of the most underestimated plants in the modern kitchen garden. We treat it as garnish. The Greeks treated it as medicine. It is among the most vitamin C-dense herbs you can grow, alongside being one of the richest plant sources of vitamin K critical for bone matrix formation and for the activation of specific proteins that regulate calcium in connective tissue. Roman gladiators ate it before competition. Grow it in rich, moist soil in partial sun, and harvest outer leaves continuously. It is a biennial. Let it flower in its 2nd year. Collect the seed, and it will colonize your garden willingly. Free medicine, growing itself, year after year. Passion flower Passiflora incarnata climbs with theatrical drama, producing flowers so architecturally strange they seem designed by something more intentional than evolution. The Cherokee and many southeastern indigenous nations used this vine as food, medicine, and spiritual symbol. The leaves, flowers, and fruit contain flavonoids that reduce inflammation, the chronic, low-grade systemic inflammation that quietly degrades collagen throughout the body. Inflammation is one of the primary accelerators of skin aging. Suppressing it is not vanity, it is maintenance. Grow passion flower on a trellis in full sun with average soil. It spreads by root runners and, once established, needs almost nothing from you. It survived millennia without your help. It is simply doing you the courtesy of growing nearby. Maca Lepidium mayeni grows at altitudes above 13,000 feet in the Peruvian Andes. Not despite the cold, the thin air, and the brutal UV radiation. Because of them, this adaptogenic root has been cultivated by Andean communities for over 3,000 years as a source of extraordinary nutritional density rich in amino acids including glycine and proline, the 2 most critical amino acids in the collagen triple helix structure. Spanish colonizers documented Andean populations offering maca as tribute the same way others offered gold. In temperate home gardens, it can be challenging, but in cool climates with well-drained soil, it is achievable. Dry the root and powder it. Chickweed Stellaria media is what most gardeners destroy on sight. Pull it, smother it, curse it. But consider this. Chickweed has been eaten across Europe and Asia for thousands of years as a fresh green, appearing in late winter when almost nothing else grows. It contains significant vitamin C, calcium, and a compound called rutin, a bioflavonoid that protects and strengthens capillary walls, which are built largely from collagen. It is also one of the most available plants on Earth, growing in disturbed soil, garden beds, and lawns without invitation. You have likely been composting something your ancestors deliberately cultivated. The knowledge was lost. You can reclaim it today. Eat the young shoots fresh in salads while they're tender. The forgotten always have something to say if you'll listen. Calendula officinalis is brilliant. Literally. Its petals are a deep, molten orange gold that seems to carry light within it. And for medieval herbalists across Europe, it was a primary wound herb used topically to accelerate skin healing and internally as an anti-inflammatory agent. Modern research has confirmed the presence of saponins, flavonoids, and resins in calendula that directly stimulate collagen synthesis in fibroblast cells, the very cells responsible for producing new collagen in skin. Grow it from seed directly in the garden in early spring. It blooms prolifically, self-seeds aggressively, and laughs at neglect. Dry the petals and steep them in oil for the most effective topical collagen support balm you can make at home. No laboratory required. Horsetail Equisetum arvens is not a flowering plant. It is not even a modern plant. Horsetail is a living fossil, structurally unchanged from specimens found in 3.50 million-year-old rock. It survived every mass extinction the Earth has thrown at it. It contains the highest natural concentration of bioavailable silica found in any plant, and silica is the mineral that literally holds your collagen matrix together, giving it the structural tensile strength that keeps skin firm and joints supple. Ancient soldiers steeped it in hot water before battle for its strengthening properties. Grow it in wet, acidic soil near a pond edge or rain garden, but contain its roots, because once established, it will not be easily persuaded to leave. Steep the dried green shoots as a mineral tea. Relentless, unapologetically ancient,